Hello.
Hi everyone.
Hi, this is Ravi.
Yes, sir. So let's begin. So before we begin, I remember some of you were there in the previous class. For you people, some of the topics will be repetitive because yeah, you were there in the previous session, so you know most of the stuff. So can I get a call from students who were not available in the last session? Where were you there in the last session?
This is Ravi. I wasn't there in the last session.
Okay. So can you walk me through your profile as in what is your background? Zoe, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah.
You wanted to know about my background, right? So, like, this is my first session actually.
No, so what is your technical background? As in, are you from C department or have you ever worked on any scripting language?
Computer sciences.
Oh, okay. Rekha, I think you were there in the last session, correct?
Yes.
What about Sarat? I can see Sarat is there. Guys, unmute yourself only when you want to speak. Otherwise, be on mute because otherwise crosstalk will happen. Yeah, what about you? Sarat, are you there? Okay, let me check. Sir, can you please rejoin? Because others, are you getting my voice properly?
Yeah, actually your voice is cracking, so I
Okay, just
don't
one
know.
second. That's all I know how. Would you just give me 1 second? Sarat, in the meanwhile, please rejoin. Let me discuss you so that you can rejoin. And others, just give me 1 second. To rejoin. Yeah, is it better now?
Yeah.
Let's start rejoin and then we'll start the class. Just a couple of.
Do you want us to rejoin again?
No, is it better now or is it still breaking for you?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay, just 1 second. I think Sarat has joined. Sarat, are you there? Sarat? Yeah. So, Sarat, I was asking, is it your first class? I hope it is your first class, correct? Okay. So are you from any technical background or what it is? Do you know any technical scripting or are you a fresher? What is your technical background? Sir, are you there? Okay. That will be easy for you. Okay, fine. Fine, guys, then let's begin. For, as I told, for some of the people, the stuffs will be like a redo stuff. So for you, it will be a more of revision. Yeah, for others, it will be a new class. Okay. So as you know, today we are going to start with the agenda of what is ServiceNow. We are going to first get an answer of what is this technical tool, what it does and all those stuff. And slowly and steadily, yes, we'll also be starting the applications. Today we'll also be seeing some of the basic applications of ServiceNow. How does it work in the system at any point in time? So now let's proceed further. Let's see the stuff over here. How does it work? So first thing first is what is ServiceNow? Let's see the definition of it. So it says ServiceNow is nothing but it is a technical tool. So what is a technical tool? Let's try to first understand that. So technical tool, whenever I say, so obviously it has a perspective. It is a tool and it has a perspective that it will be used from an organization point endpoints. What it is used for, let's see. So in the layman language, if I talk about, we'll say ServiceNow is nothing but it is a ticketing tool. And when I say ticketing tool means what means, obviously in a layman perspective, I can understand that, okay, people are going to raise some kind of ticket in the tool. Now, another question which arises over here is what kind of ticket is going to be raised over there, correct? So to get an answer on that, what kind of ticket it is, I'll give you an example. Now, think about a situation that we are working in an organization, and over there, suppose I'm a new joinee. If I'm a new joinee over there, what will I need? Obviously, maybe the basic need I'm talking about right now. Like on the day one, I'll be needing a laptop. We'll be needing, maybe if you're working on some server access and all those stuff, you will be needing access to the server. You'll be needing some of the software to be installed on your laptop. And suppose your job also involves making a call to the client or whatsoever stuff it is. So you will also be needing those kind of stuffs over there in your organization perspective. Means I can say that overall your functionality, overall the ticketing tool perspective, as in if I'm giving an organization a tool where the tickets can be raised from the organization employee perspective, that your employees can raise a ticket for getting any kind of service offering. The different type of service offerings can be there. As I told you, it can be that maybe I'm raising a request for getting a new service offering, like a new laptop, a new software, or maybe not only a software. Maybe let's say I do have a software installed on my laptop, and tomorrow the version needs to be upgraded. So again, I need a new version of the software, or maybe the laptop which I had now, it is giving me issues, so I need to fix that laptop issue. So these kind of stuffs can be your day-to-day working scenarios which you will need to fix at any point in time. So means that in a particular perspective, I can say that, okay, a technical tool can be nothing but a tool where people can make a request for new service offering, as well as people can make a request when something is broken for them, when something is not working fine for them from the technical endpoint. As in it can't be like, you need a newspaper or something. It can't be of that sort. It will always be of a technical sort. As in from a organization perspective, if you need any kind of technical help, you will be raising ticket within ServiceNow. So actually any company purchases ServiceNow only for this purpose. This is the only restricted purpose of a company. The company may vary. It is not only true for your organization when you are working from a technical endpoint. I even have worked for the clients like your, let's say, Pizza Hut or Domino's. So the perspectives can differ. Obviously, let's say when I work for Pizza Hut over there, you will have the tool ready for keeping a track of how many services requests they are getting, how many new offerings they are getting, so on and so forth. So that is the basic definition of ServiceNow. That is, it is a ticketing tool. People will be raising tickets when they need something new, when they need to fix something which is an existing issue or something. If they are getting any issue in the organization perspective, yes, they'll even be creating a ticket in that particular case. So does that make sense? The layman's perspective. Obviously, slowly and steadily it will be more technical. Right now, I'm trying to be more basic so that you people can get a clear picture as an overall what I can define, how I can define the tool over here in the system. Now, moving ahead, let's see the next step. The next step over here is let's read out the definition. From technical endpoint, what does it say? The definition of the tool. So it says, ServiceNow is a software platform. So when I say that, many a time you can compare ServiceNow with your Amazon website. As in the Amazon, obviously, it is exposed. Amazon website is for what? It is for the client perspective, as in the customer perspective it is there. But ServiceNow, as I told you, it is only within the organizational perspective. So, but yeah, I can say it is like a software platform, as in you will get the URL of the tool. Whenever your company is using with ServiceNow, they will have a specific URL defined only for your organization, and that URL will be designated only to the employees belonging to your organization. What it says next over here, that it supports IT service management and it automates the common business process. What is IT service management? So already I told you, the day-to-day work of an IT company is the IT service management purposes. Like getting a new service, fixing an existing issue, like let's say my laptop is not working or the software needs to be upgraded, or anything which was already there with you which needs to be upgraded or which needs to be fixed, that also comes under the IT service management. What is next over here? What does it say? It says that this is a software as a service platform, and it contains number of modular applications that can vary by instance as well as user. Now, what is software as a service platform? Let's try to elaborate that. So, whenever you will purchase a tool can be purchased in two different ways. One is called platform as a service. Another one is called software as a service. These are the two ways in which your tool can be purchased. if a tool, be it any kind of tool, not only ticketing tool, it can be any kind of tool. Let's say maybe, I'm purchasing a library management tool or software upgrade tool, whatever tool it is. If you're purchasing platform as a service, means you're saying the entire platform of the tool I'm purchasing. So suppose I'm working for ABC company and I go and I purchase any kind of tool, sorry, as a platform as a service means I'm purchasing the entire platform of the tool. So when I do that, later on, let's say later on, if any upgrade needs to happen on that tool, if any kind of design change needs to be happen, if any kind of server upgrade needs to be happen, everything is now in my ABC company scope because I purchased the entire platform. I didn't purchase a tool only to use it, but I purchased the entire platform of the tool. So initial ticketing tools in the market before ServiceNow, whatever other competitors were there, they were working on the platform as a service. Means over there, they were saying that, okay, if a product is purchased by a company, now the company is responsible for maintaining, upgrading, and all those stuff. So what was the issue happening over there? If let's say if ABC company purchases the tool, the day the company purchases it, now everything is in scope of the company. So obviously overhead was going to the company because now company was responsible for keeping track of everything, fixing the issue when and where it comes, expanding the database when and where required. If server goes down, they have the responsibility of restarting those stuff. So obviously it was a tedious process when people were purchasing the tool as a platform as a service. Now ServiceNow told to make it more, with more demand in the market, ServiceNow brought a concept called it designed its tool based on software as a service. So what ServiceNow company says is that if ABC company is going to purchase my ServiceNow tool, they will only have to worry about the software. Like for example, they will only have to like we use Facebook. How do we use Facebook? We just create an account over there and we start using. We don't care about the database of it. We don't care about the server of it. As in I can say the overall backend process of the tool is still in the hand of the parent owner company. Similar is the case over here in ServiceNow. That is, because it is based on software as a service means it is only offering the software to the organization. So when it offers the software, so the database, the server is still in scope of ServiceNow. So the database and server upgrade, enhancement, whatsoever related to those stuff are there, it will be worked by the ServiceNow parent company. If that is the case, where are we involved? Obviously, we are the developers. Where are we involved from the organization perspective is, ServiceNow says that, okay, I'll only give you the out-of-box features. For example, I'll give you a scenario. ServiceNow says that, okay, I only have a form for, let's say, Apple iPhone 5. Let's say tomorrow company says that okay, I don't offer Apple iPhone 5 to my employees. Rather, I offer maybe, let's say, any phone, maybe Motorola, anything. I'm just giving an example of it. So if your company is going to offer Motorola, means what you need to do, you need to design a form, you need to design a service offering like that. But ServiceNow says that no, whatever out of the box, whatever I see that most of my clients are using, I'll only design service for that. If you need a service which is local to you, which is used only by your company, you will have to hire people like us, the developers of service, who will design a form for you, or at some point in time, whatever code the ServiceNow has written, if it needs to be modified, they'll modify it for you. They will design a new form, they will design a new table. So people like us, we will be working on the ServiceNow platform, but even though we are developers, but we will also not have access to the database and the server, because as I told, database and server is only in the scope of ServiceNow parent company. We the developers, how will we be doing scripting? So we the developers, if we want to insert a table or a column or something, we will do it on the ServiceNow platform. We will not be having exact access to the database. Like we'll not be using all those code and all those stuff to see the exact structure of the database. What we will be doing is we will be creating the table on the ServiceNow platform. When we design it on the platform itself, the platform will pass on the data to the database. So that exact database you will never have access to. Similarly, ServiceNow says that, okay, whatever out-of-the-box table ServiceNow has created, it will never give you access to delete those tables. ServiceNow has some restriction which is logged only on their side, which at any point in time, even though you are developers, you can't access or you can't modify it. Are we good till here, guys? Anyone, any query? Okay, just chat me or unmute yourself, guys, if you are having any queries so far. Okay. So what it says, this is a software as a service platform which contains number of modular applications. So as one of you were asking, I think Pranav, you were asking that, yeah, we will be seeing some of the basic applications to get a clarity on how the tool behaves. So we'll not be covering, obviously I can't say all the application, but yeah, most of the frequently used application for sure, we will be covering as part of this training. I will be elaborating those applications to you, how to use, when to use and all those stuff will be a part of this training or on an overall perspective I'm talking about. What it says next, so in this particular line only, it says it contains number of applications which can vary by instance. So what Servicenow says is to make the developer work more easy, because as I told, we the developers, we won't have access to the database side. If we don't have access to the database side, now the question arises that, okay, how will we access the database? So as I told, you will have an access based on the Servicenow platform. So think about a scenario that, let's say I'm a developer and I get a new requirement. Maybe you come to me and say that, okay, design a form for this ABC service. If I start designing the table and all those stuff in the front end, and if I'm doing the work in the same URL as the customer, it can be the case that customer gets interrupted. Maybe because of the code which I wrote that got clashed. Maybe the design which I wrote that is having issues, or let's say I'm putting some debugger to see till what point my code is going. Again, these debugger messages will be visible to the customers. So always to make your life more easy, always to make developers or the testing team or the end users or the customer life more easy, Servicenow says that, okay, I'll do one thing. I'll give different URLs to the different set of people. What does it mean? It says that, okay, a designated, whenever company goes to purchase Servicenow, Servicenow says minimum of 3 different URL I'll give it to you. That is for sure. The number of count can be more than 3, but yeah, minimum 3 will be there. What is the purpose of 3? The one will be used for the dev purpose, that is development people, the people like us who are going to do the Servicenow development activity. We will be writing our scripts, we'll be writing our logics in the dev URL. So because these 3 URL, one is called dev URL, development activity, one is called test URL, which will be used by the testing team, as in whatever code, let's say I wrote a code. So in my company, there will be a team who will do the testing, whether the design done by me, whether it is meeting the customer expectation or not. So for that, again, another URL will be there for the testing team, so that whatever activity I am doing, me as a developer I'm doing, that should not interrupt the testing team activity. Again, the testing team testing should not impact me, the developer. So that's why one instance of one URL will be designated to the development people. One URL will be designated to the testing team for doing the testing activities. And the final URL will be there, the go live URL or the production URL, where actual customers will be raising ticket of a kind. So these 3 different URLs will be there now. Because these 3 different URLs belong to the same organization, obviously only the activity which the development team is doing as part of this month release or whatsoever it is, only that activity will be extra in there. Otherwise, obviously I can say that otherwise the structure of all the 3 URL will be same only. So because the 3 URL belong to the same organization, that's why we refer to the URL as what? We refer to the URL as instances rather than using the term URL. We say we say dev instance, test instance, and the production instance, because overall structure of these 3 are same from an organization. So that's why you will be seeing me very frequently using the term dev instance, test instance, or the production or the live instance. Are we good till here, guys? Okay, I'll take it as it is. Next is what? Next is SaaS. Already I told you what is SaaS. I told you that it is a software as a service where the database and the server is not in scope of the client, but rather it is in scope of the product owners. And because of that, how is the client accessing the data? So obviously the client is accessing the data through the web-based interface. Like whenever we type the URL of the Facebook, through that we are accessing the database of the Facebook to get our data, our pictures or whatsoever you have uploaded over there. Similar is the case over here. That is when I open the ticketing tool, the data is pulled from the server and displayed on the Servicenow platform. How is the data accessed? The data is accessed through a web-based interface. And where is the data stored? The data is actually stored in the cloud, which is in the domain of ServiceNow parent company. So that is about SaaS. Next is what? Next is the history of the tool. When was this tool found? The tool was found way back in 2003 by this guy called Fred Luddy. Fred Luddy was initially working for Remedy Corporation. So I think I remember some of you are from the Remedy background. So yeah, ServiceNow is the biggest competitor of Remedy. And for others to know, there are plenty of other testing tools in the market. I'll talk about some of the important ones. So the first company to bring the testing tool concept was IBM. And the tool name was IBM Tivoli. Then came your HP. HP company came and they created a tool which name was HP Service Manager. Then came Remedy, and then finally ServiceNow came. And now slowly and steadily all the clients are moving towards ServiceNow because of the advantages of ServiceNow. Like one of the advantages which I told is the SaaS one, as in the company, the parent company, whosoever is going to buy ServiceNow. Let's say if I'm working for ABC company and we decide today to use ServiceNow as a ticketing tool, will not have to hire the people who know the server side scripting, who know the Unix command, will not have to hire the people who know SQL command, rather will only have to hire the people who know ServiceNow. So that's why obviously the cost cutting is there, the benefit to the company is there because the company is not purchasing any unnecessary resources from the market. The company is only purchasing the people who know ServiceNow because they are the people who can keep a track, who can maintain the tool on overall structure. But whenever your company purchases the ServiceNow tool, ServiceNow says that, okay, I am responsible for the database. I am responsible for server at any point in time. So at any point in time, if anything goes wrong with your database and server, always ServiceNow is the responsible company. You just have to raise a ticket with them, and they are the people who will be working for you, who will be fixing the issue for you. And it is part of the contract. Any company, whatever kind of contract it is, obviously this is the prerequisite in that contract. So at any point in time, it will be there for sure. So that it was. So as I told, it was founded in 2003 by Fred Luddy, and its main headquarters is in California. And ServiceNow is based on ITIL standards. Now, what is ITIL standard? Another question. We'll answer it in the next slide. So are we good till here, guys? Guys, can anyone of you confirm? The new students who all have joined today, can you please confirm? Are we good till here?
Yeah, we got it.
So I'm going to proceed further to see the answer as in what is ITIL. So let's see the full form of it. Let's see the usage of it. So what it says over here, it says ITIL is the most widely accepted approach to IT service management in the world. And it says that it helps individuals as well as organizations use IT to realize business change, transformation, and growth. So that is the overall structure. But yeah, to keep it more simple, I can say ITIL is a framework. When I say framework, what it is, ITIL says that, okay, whenever you are developing a tool, if you want your tool to be, more demand in the market, to get more stability, to get more customers, use ITIL as a framework. So when you will use ITIL framework, there are a number of steps in the ITIL. All the life cycles are there that, okay, in this particular stage you do this, in this particular stage you do this. But ITIL is very much flexible. It says that, okay, if you want to skip any of the life cycle process, it is totally fine. Still your tool will be called on an ITIL framework. It is just helping you in a broader picture to understand if you get any requirement to design any tool from scratch, what all perspective, what all scenario you should think about before developing the tool. Let's see some of it. I'll elaborate some of it. So the first which says over here is that it says ITIL stands for, as I told, Information Technology Infrastructure Library. It says, for example, I'll keep it more basic. So let's say, I think I gave some of you this example that if I'm developing, let's say tomorrow my client comes to me and says, design a tool for library management. So when I have to design it for library management, the minimum two prerequisite I have from a technical background, that, okay, a field will be there which will store the user, the person name to whom the book is allocated. And another field I'll create where I'll store the book which the person is allocated to. So let's say I purchase maybe a Harry Potter book or whatsoever it is. So means in this tool, one field will be there which will be storing my name, another field will be there which will be storing the book name which is allocated to me right now. ITIL says that okay, if you get the technical requirement, whatever it is, like in our case, it was to design a tool with minimum of 2 fields, as in your database, minimum of 2 fields will be there in the table. So it says, okay, don't only think about the technical aspect of the tool. Whenever you use ITIL as a framework, don't think only about the technical aspect, but think about how your tool will get popularity. Why your tool will be better than other tools. So obviously, if you are increasing, if you're, let's say, suppose my tool is storing critical data, and if I take the backup of the tool in any other location, means what will be the benefit? If I'm taking the backup of the tool in any other location, means at any point in time, the data loss will not be there. So suppose today, suppose it was stored in India, in a particular XYZ location, and over there maybe flood has come or any such problem has come. So now I know that the backup of the server was already there in, let's say, in US. So what will I do in these kind of situations? I'll just change the pointer from India to US, and at that particular time, the customers will never be at loss because their service will be up and running always, because we always had the exact snapshot of the database from one location to another. So that's what Servicenow says. Servicenow says that okay, whenever you're working on the data perspective, always keep your data handy, always keep up the backup of the data. So that's what ITIL talks about, taking the backups. ITIL also talks about that okay, to design the service, you should provide the services free of cost to the people who have purchased it. You should work with them whenever they are getting any issues. As in, let's say, for example, for Servicenow says that okay, whatever out of the box structures I have written, whatever scripting language which I have developed, if at any point in time the scripting language is not working fine, whatever Servicenow has developed, Servicenow tells that okay, the upgrade activity of it, fixing the issue of it, will be part of the contract which you have set. Servicenow is responsible for fixing those issues for you at any point. So those are some of the aspects of the tool. Other aspect, the ITIL framework says that okay, you should also think about the demand. How will your tool get demand in comparison to any other existing tool in the market? How will you work on the demand side of it? What is the other aspect? Other aspect is capacity. As in, if you have developed your tool, always you should be sure that minimum of how many people can use it, maximum of how many people can use your tool. It can't be the case that let's say today I tested it for 4 people and then maybe then when 10 people logged in at a time, your server crashed. So you should be sure how many customers will be able to log in at a single time, how much load your server can take, and based on that only you should sell your product. Because if you're working on those scenarios beforehand, obviously the customer satisfaction any day will be more in comparison to any other scenarios in the market. So these are some of the features which ITIL gives you. ITIL elaborates you, like capacity management, demand management, taking the server backup, providing maintenance to the customers and all those stuff. So these are some of the framework steps. But again, as I told you, entire life cycle of the ITIL is there. Like you design, you prepare the strategies, you fix the issues and all those stuff. I'm not going into that much detail because ITIL itself is a training agenda. It itself is a training. So I'm not going to that one, but yeah, for overall perspective, you can understand that this is the overall structure of the ITIL. Right? It helps the customers in understanding the things in a better way. What says next? Next slide will talk about the benefits of it. What are the benefits of ITIL? Let's see. It says it provides more customer satisfaction. Why? Because as I told you, that if you're thinking about the demand, the capacity and all those stuff, if you're keeping the backups, obviously at the end the customer suffering will be less, because of which the satisfaction of the customers will increase. Again, because of this, the service availability will be more. Why? Because as I told, if the database backup you have taken, the server or the service will be available on a longer pace. Next, obviously financial saving will be there because of all these stuff. Because of the reduced rework, financial saving will be there, the cost cutting will be there, all those stuff. Again, it says it improves time to the market. So because you are thinking about all these scenarios beforehand only, so that's why time to the market will be less, because you have worked on the issues beforehand only. So that's why time to the market will be less. What is next? It says it improves the decision making and optimizes the risk. So it optimizes the risk, it reduces the risk at any point in time. So this is about the benefit of ITIL. Anyone any queries so far? So let's proceed further. Let's see the next step. Next one is features of ServiceNow. Total functionalities are there in ServiceNow. So first one talks about, these are some of the features, that is, ServiceNow is very simple and consistent. ServiceNow is very flexible, secure, easy to integrate, speed time to production. Simple and consistent, you will understand when you will be doing that. Okay, when I'm looking for an application called incident, let's say I talk about incident. What is incident? Yeah, we'll elaborate it later. So let's say I'm looking for incident. So if whatever application you are looking for, in the left side, whenever you will type the name, ServiceNow will return the data back to you. So before that, yeah, this is how your ServiceNow instance looks. I have got a demo instance with me. Similarly, I'll tell you guys how to get your individual instances. And once you get it, everyone can get their own individual instances right now for a demo purpose. But yeah, in a real-time scenario, entire organization will have a different, as I told, 3 different URL, and people will have their account created in 3 different URLs so that they can do the work, whatever they are working. So as I was talking about the simple and consistency, so as I told, if you know the application which you are searching for, once you type it in the left-hand side, you can see everything containing incident is getting returned. So it means the searching is very much simple. Only you need to know the application, whatever you are looking for, whatever functionality you are looking from a technical perspective. So that is about simple and consistent. Flexibility, we'll see later. It will make sense later. Easy to integrate, again, it will make sense later. So for you right now to understand, if either of you would have worked on Java integration stuff, you might be knowing that, yeah, whenever you want to integrate Servicenow tool or any tool with another tool, you write a number of line of code, you do all the import classes, Java objects, calls, and all those stuff. But over here, Servicenow has made it very easy to integrate. Servicenow has designed a platform where little bit of Servicenow scripting you do, and the entire integration is handy for you. No need for you to write millions and trillion lines of code. Servicenow has made it very easy. Just another a couple of hour work it is, and your integration will be up and done. So that is about easy to integrate. Next is secure. How is Servicenow secure? Let's see. For that, if you see the URL over here, you will see how is the transaction happening. You can see it is a secure protocol as written over here. And over here, you can see the URL is always beginning with a HTTPS. What is HTTPS? It is a secure protocol. So obviously, whatever transaction is happening through it, the data is very much secure. So that's why we say that ServiceNow provides what? ServiceNow provides the security functionality. The data over here in ServiceNow is very much secure and safe. Next is what? Next is speed time to production. So as we have seen the features of ITIL, in the ITIL also speed time to production was there. The same feature is passed over here. That is, it takes less time to develop the product because you are prepared beforehand. So that's why ITIL are always passed on to ServiceNow as well, because ServiceNow is designed on the ITIL framework. So that's why all the features are here also available to you. Everyone all good? Any questions so far? Okay. In that case, let's proceed further. Now, what is the architecture of ServiceNow? How is ServiceNow designed? So from the backend perspective, let's see the architecture. So, guys, whenever you go for your interview or whenever you are going for certification questions, people will be asking you this, as in what is the ServiceNow architecture? Let's try to understand that. So obviously, think about, I am a customer, I am an end user. I'm only going to use the tool. I don't care about how the tool has been designed. So how will end user access the tool? End user or customer, they will access the tool through the user interface. They will fill the data in the form, or they will fetch the data via the form, and so on and so forth. Means I can say the accessing of the data from a customer endpoint will happen through what? It will happen through a user interface, and then people will be filling the data over here in the user interface at any point. Once the people fill the data, obviously the data may be passed to the database soon. Now, so this is from a customer endpoint. A customer will use the tool through a user interface. Whenever integration will happen, it will happen through these protocols. What these protocols are there, I'm not going to. Well, I think anyone of you. Pranav, I'm muting you. You can.
Yeah, actually, I just want to know only SOAP or REST also? REST also, na?
I have not written over here. I have written other protocols.
Hello.
Okay.
Actually, your voice is cracking in between. Actually, I'm asking you that
No, no. I'm moving the line. Can you please chat me? Because process is happening. I'm writing my notes. Just chat me. Because so many people
okay,
have joined.
okay. I will put it in the chat.
So yeah, Pranav, to answer your question, yes, there are other protocols as you know, SOAP is there, REST is there, LDAP is there. So yeah, we will be seeing all those integration platforms to make it more simple on the architecture structure. I have written SOAP, I have highlighted SOAP over here because yeah, that is the most frequently used protocol. But yeah, other protocols are also there for integration. We will be seeing those protocols as part of the training agenda. So for others, what is this SOAP and other protocol? You can understand that, okay, this is for integration. What is integration? Again, it will make more sense at a later point in time. So you people, others can skip it for now. Make it more simple and consistent, skip it for now. Let's not think about what is this protocol. So for you to know, for others to know, you can understand that, okay, a customer, whosoever is going to use ServiceNow, what they will do is they'll fill the data on the form level. Again, even when they want to access the data, they'll go on a form level, they'll view the data. So means customers will, sorry, one second. Customers will interact through the user interface. They'll fill the data over here in the user interface and they'll do the interaction. Now, let's say I wrote a code, let's say maybe I'm going to create a new record and maybe I submitted the record. So obviously whenever I'm submitting the record needs to be saved on the database side. Or whenever I'm putting the data and I'm requesting that, okay, show me the data of this particular record number, again, the data needs to be pulled from the database. So between the user interface and the database, you can see two structures are there, two level of architecture is there. First one is scripting layer. What is scripting layer? So ServiceNow has told to make it more simple and consistent, ServiceNow has developed its own scripting language. This language works only within ServiceNow. Yeah, you will see bits and bits of JavaScript and the Java language platforms being used over here, but not extensively. As you will see, using the Java, ServiceNow has developed its own scripting language, and this scripting language is local only to the ServiceNow. So obviously, anyone who work on ServiceNow as a developer or as an admin guy, they will have to learn ServiceNow from scratch. So we, the developers, we are involved in this scripting layer. So obviously, we have access to the first top layer. We can see the user data. We can, fetch the data, send the data for the testing purpose and all those stuff. Plus, we as developers, we are exposed to this scripting layer. We will be writing ServiceNow level scripting when and where required. Now, while the scripting is written, let's say I wrote a script to send the data to the ABC table. Now, whenever the data I'm writing in the scripting layer to send the database layer, obviously database layer only understands the SQL command. Means in a particular layer, I need to translate the data, whatever scripting you have written of ServiceNow level scripting, ServiceNow level scripting needs to be converted into SQL command. This conversion of ServiceNow scripting into SQL command will happen in the DB layer. In the DB layer, the conversion, who does that? ServiceNow has written the framework so that whatever you are writing in the scripting layer, it will automatically get converted into the SQL command in this particular layer. But because it is SQL command and all those stuff, so you as a developer, you only have access till the scripting layer. This DB layer and database is in scope of only the ServiceNow parent company. Only ServiceNow company can access the database layer and the DB layer. You as a ServiceNow developer, you can only access the UI and you can only access the scripting layer. Does that make sense to everyone? This architecture? We have to be clear with this, then only the basic stuff will make sense to you. So are we good till here, guys?
Yes.
I'll take it as a yes. Okay. Now, before we start the next thing, that is the key applications which we'll be covering as part of this training, before that, let's see how will you get your own demo instances. Some of you know it because you people were there in the other demo class. For others, to get your own individual demo instance, you have to go to developer.servicenow.com. So I'll just give you this URL. You can go over there. What you need to do, open this URL. Over there, it will ask you to register. Register yourself. And once you register yourself, what you will be able to do once you register yourself, you will be able to request your own instance. Once you request your own instance, you will get a URL like this, because means this can be used only by the people like our activity practice the stuff and all. It can never, organization can never use a demo instance. That will be the policy breached by the company, and then the organization obviously will have to pay some extra money to the company. So never ever a company can use a instance for their. Also, once you get your demo instance, the system says that once in a day, once you have to log in to keep it active, and if you don't keep it active, it will go in a sleep mode. Yes, you can wake it up, you can bring it up, but if you don't log in continuously for 10 days, the instance will be taken back from you. Then again, you will have to register yourself to get a new instance. So always keep it a habit that once in a 10 days, just refresh, just log in over there, then the instance will be handy with you. Yeah, I think Kuldeep, you have a question. Yeah, what is that question?
Yeah,
Can you just
regarding the architecture, when we are talking about the scripting layer, okay, uh, does ServiceNow provide any out-of-box block codes which are frequently used or something, or do we have to write everything from scratch itself?
Okay. So some of the shortcut ServiceNow has provided to you. Plus, there is a website. Let me just show it to you that website. There is a website called wiki.service-now.com. So over there, yes, you can get sample codes over there, but for sure you have to understand the code. So in this training, yeah, we'll be first understanding how to use, when to use it. Like let's say I talk about something called glide record. What is the use of it? You need to understand that. Once you are sure that okay, in this part of scripting I'm going to use glide record, yes, you can get the sample over here in this website called wiki.servicenow.com. But yeah, you have to be clear when to use glide record, for example, when to use workflow, maybe when to use integration scripting and all those stuff. Yes, you need to get clarity on that. Over here,
Okay,
only examples.
okay.
Anyone, any other query? Guys, anyone, any query?
No, we are good.
Okay. So now let's see some of the basic applications. What all these are? Let's move further. So these are the key applications of ServiceNow. What all these are? One is incident, problem, change, and service catalog. So now first I'll start with incident. I'll elaborate your incident, what it is. And then we'll be trying to understand the fields of it, which field needs to store what, how the fields are getting used in the system. So let's move further. Let's start with incident. So what it says over here, it says incident means something has stopped working and it needs to be fixed immediately. Means what? Means think about a situation that may come as I told, an organization is going to purchase the service now only for a ticketing perspective to raise ticket of a kind from an organization endpoint. So as I gave you the example, that let's say I am having a laptop with me and now the laptop which the company offered to me is not working. So if I'm having a service which was available to me and now if it is no longer working with me, I need to create a request called incident. That application is called incident. So it says over here, incident will be created when something is not working as desired and when you need to be fixed, you need it to be fixed for you so that you can continue your day-to-day work, whatever is your work revolving around. Let's see how to create an incident. Later on tomorrow we'll describe the detail of the applications. So as I told, for creating incident in the left hand side, you will type the keyword called incident. Where am I going right now? You can see over here under incident, there is an option called create new. I'm going over there to create a new. Before that, let's try to understand one thing. If you can see, this incident is a highlighted one. If I click on these, all these options, create new and all will be hidden. See. If I click on it again, then the options are coming visible to me. So means I can say overall, whatever is coming in the highlighted one is called an application and whatever comes under it is called a module. Like incident is the application over here. All these create new assigned to me, all these are modules under incident. Similarly, self-service is an application. Under its incidents, watch and incidents are module under the self-service application. So now to begin with, I'm going under incident application. I'm going to the create new module to create a new incident in the system. Once you click on create new, one second, I think my session has expired. Just one second, guys. Give me one second. Leave it. I'll show you this one tomorrow. I need to reset my password. Okay. So once you click on create, then the form will open where you will be creating a new incident. There's some of the fields we'll be seeing it tomorrow. There's some of the fields will be auto-populated. Some fields will need to fill in the data. So we'll be elaborating that tomorrow to understand most of the fields over there in the system. So let's start tomorrow with incident. Yeah, and again, we'll be after seeing the incident form in detail, we'll be beginning with problem chain and service catalog. And once these applications are done, so what am I trying to going as in what I'm going to do as part of these applications are, I'm going to elaborate you each of these application fields in detail from a customer input. Why? So that because you need to get a clarity, because tomorrow it can be the case if your profile is going to be a ServiceNow admin profile, your work also revolves around helping the customers to understand which field stores what, how are they going to fill in the data. So that's why at any point in time you need what? At any point in time you need to get a clarity how these modules are working, how these applications are working, what all fields are getting auto-populated, what does the fields mean. So that's why I'll be elaborating you these application in detail because these are the basic application being used by customers. Others we'll be seeing when we'll be starting the scripting. So after completing this, we'll be starting the ServiceNow scripting. Any queries so far, guys? I'll take it as a no. So let's catch up tomorrow, guys, the same timing, and tomorrow I'll elaborate the other applications to you. Okay. Thanks. Have a nice time. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thanks, Aloni.
Thank you.